Me, raw and uncut, you know what I mean? I just wanted to give some context to what my brain be thinking, you know? It's a blessing, man. I just put on what I like.
Yeah.
Offset has been teasing a gambling-focused documentary where he plans to talk about his relationship with high-stakes betting, casino culture, losses, wins, and what he claims is a misunderstood side of his lifestyle. The blind item reads that Offset believes gambling is part of his real story and that people don't understand how deep he's been in that world. Around the same time, he commented publicly that viewers might enjoy his documentary more than a football game starring Stefon Diggs, which immediately raised eyebrows considering Diggs just made the Super Bowl and is currently dating Offset's estranged wife, Cardi B. According to the lawsuit, well, not a lawsuit this time, but according to public reaction and commentary, fans didn't take that statement as harmless promo. They took it as a dig. Social media lit up with people asking why Offset even felt the need to bring Stefon Diggs into the conversation at all. Others pointed out that this is not the first time Offset has spoken sideways when Cardi and Diggs are trending for something positive. The timing, once again, is doing him no favors. Let's be real. When you're promoting a documentary, you don't need to compare it to the Super Bowl unless you're trying to provoke a reaction. That's not no light work. The Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in America, and Stefon Diggs didn't just stumble into it. This man worked for it, and now he's celebrating with Cardi B and their newborn baby, minding his business. Offset jumping in with commentary makes it feel less like marketing and more like bitterness dressed up as confidence. And this is where the gambling angle really complicates things. Offset has openly talked about betting large sums of money in casinos, and fans are already speculating whether he plans to bet on the Super Bowl itself, possibly even betting against the Patriots and Stefon Diggs out of spite. Now, to be clear, there is no proof of that, and anything suggesting that would be allegedly at best. But the fact that people are even thinking this way tells you how his comments are being received. It really makes you wonder what Offset's end goal is here. Is he trying to rebrand? Is he trying to reclaim attention? Or is he genuinely unaware of how this comes across when the mother of his children is publicly happy, in love, and welcoming a new baby, while he's online stirring the pot? Fans have been very clear in their responses, saying Cardi and Stefon are enjoying peace, stability, and family life, and Offset should back off and stop causing unnecessary online drama. Another layer to this is optics. Offset talking about gambling addiction, gambling culture, and betting habits at a time when people are already questioning his finances, judgment, and priorities is risky. If this is true, it's very concerning because a documentary like this can either humanize him or further damage his image depending on how honest and accountable he's willing to be. Viewers are not in the mood for glorifying self-destruction, especially when children are involved. Meanwhile, the contrast couldn't be sharper. On one side, you have Stefon Diggs preparing for the Super Bowl, Cardi B glowing in her post-baby era, and fans celebrating their happiness. On the other side, you have Offset promoting a gambling documentary and making comments that feel competitive rather than introspective. That contrast is exactly why fans are telling him to fall back. Not everything needs a response. Not everything needs to be a comparison. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think Offset is genuinely excited about sharing his gambling story? Or do you think this is another case of him reacting to Cardi B and Stefon Diggs moving on without him? And do you think comparing his documentary to the Super Bowl was confidence or insecurity? The second half of this conversation is really about public perception and how fast the narrative shifts depending on how you move when the spotlight is on you. Fans aren't reacting to Offset's documentary idea in a vacuum. They're reacting to the pattern. Every time Cardi B and Stefon Diggs hit a milestone, whether it's a career win, a family moment, or now a Super Bowl appearance, Offset somehow ends up adjacent to the headline with a comment that feels unnecessary. That's why people aren't engaging with the documentary idea itself. They're questioning the motivation behind the timing. What's also interesting is how fans are separating gambling as a topic from gambling as a lifestyle. A documentary that explores addiction, loss, accountability, and consequences could actually be powerful. But Offset hasn't framed it that way yet. He's framed it as entertainment, competition, and bravado. That's where people start to side-eye it. Let's be real. In this climate, people are tired of watching celebrities flex self-destructive habits and call it content. That's not inspiring, and it's definitely not something fans are rushing to put above a Super Bowl. At the same time, the contrast with Stefon Diggs is doing Offset no favors. Stefon is being praised for discipline, focus, and longevity in a brutal sport. He's shown up as a partner, a father, and an athlete all at once. Cardi B publicly looks supported, relaxed, and emotionally stable, which is something fans have wanted for her for years. So when Offset pops out talking about casinos and betting while throwing subtle shade, it reinforces the idea that they are simply on different life paths now. Another thing fans are pointing out is maturity. Stefon Diggs has barely addressed Offset publicly at all. No interviews, no slick comments, no online back and forth. Silence. And in situations like this, silence reads as confidence. Offset, on the other hand, keeps talking, and the more he talks, the more people dissect his words for bitterness, regret, or unresolved feelings. That's not no light work, especially when the internet has already picked sides. It really makes you wonder if Offset understands that not every thought needs to be shared publicly. There's a difference between promoting your work and inserting yourself into someone else's moment. Fans aren't saying he can't tell his story. They're saying he doesn't need to compete with the Super Bowl to do it. The moment you frame your project as more entertaining than someone else's achievement, you open yourself up to backlash, whether you intended to or not. There's also the family angle that people are not letting go of. Cardi and Offset share children, and fans are very protective of that dynamic. When Offset appears online stirring tension while Cardi is visibly happy and nurturing a new baby with Stefon Diggs, it creates discomfort. People start asking whether the energy he's putting into commentary wouldn't be better spent offline, focused on healing, co-parenting, and personal growth. If this is true, it's very concerning that online validation seems to be winning over private stability. What's clear is that Offset's documentary is now being judged before it even drops. That's the risk of controversial marketing. Instead of curiosity, he's getting skepticism. Instead of anticipation, he's getting pushback. Fans are already saying they'll watch the Super Bowl without a second thought and catch the documentary later, if at all. That alone should tell you how the comparison landed. And on the flip side, Cardi B and Stefon Diggs continue to benefit from doing less. They're not explaining, they're not defending, they're not responding, they're just living. And in today's celebrity culture, that's the ultimate flex. The more Offset speaks, the quieter their success becomes, and that silence is loud.